Hello friends, welcome back one more time to Model Mania. My name is Julio and today we will be painting Anubis from CA Studios. I will leave the description of the I will leave the link to their Patreon on the description of the video. I hope that you guys really like this video tutorial of how I painted this model. No brush whatsoever, no airbrush whatsoever. It's just brush, and mostly what we're gonna be doing is dry brush. So as always, I forgot to record the very beginning, and I keep apologizing and I keep forgetting. By the time that I realize, like, I didn't press record or whatever. So as you guys can see here in the video, the model was printed with a really light color resin. It's like beige, like pink beige, and it was printed with Hayo resin, ABS like. And what I did, I grabbed like a really big dry brush and I used Tamiya NATO Black XF69, and I covered the completely model in black color. I have to do 3 coats of this, and I let the paint dry about 4 hours between each coat. So once that happened, as you guys can see here, I'm using Tamiya Gold Leaf X12, and with a dry brush I'm removing the excess of paint, and I'm gently painting all the surfaces of the armor of Anubis. And when I'm using the dry brush, I'm using it in an angle so it doesn't go in those crevices, so it can leave the black color behind from the, we can call it primer. For touch-ups or paint correction, I use a flat brush, but I'm still doing the same process, which is like a dry brush, and I'm using Vallejo Gray Blue 71005. As you guys can see right here, I'm using it just to like go over that gold that I painted over the foot. Remember, always remove the excess of paint. If you don't do this, you're gonna leave like marks, like paint marks behind, and we want this to blend together. I didn't use any masking or anything on this model. If you do really gentle passes or coats, it will cover the shininess of the metal colors, because you guys know that the metals really like show even under other coats of paint unless it's really thick. Now I'm gonna do a mixture 50-50 with the gray blue and Vallejo white gray 70993. I'm mixing it together and diluted it with water. And by dilution in this case, I mean my brush is wet, real wet. And what I'm doing is I just creating a different tone of the same blue that I use to give the skin color. The reason why I prime this model black is because I want the blues to be like dull and darker. And what I'm doing with this is I'm doing it again, dry brush all over the entire model, every single part. And it might look a little bit intense right now, but once it dries, it's gonna blend a little bit more, and it's gonna create those highlights in the model itself. The reason why I did it this way compared to like using the airbrush or creating highlights or whatnot with the brush itself is to show you guys that this type of painting is really easy and it gives incredible results. If you are watching me right now, you're a beginner and you saw the render of this Anubis and you saw all the gold and how intricate the design is, and you got like, you know, how's it call it, shocked or very impressed by that, and somehow you were like thinking I cannot do this myself, it's not my level yet. Yes, it is your level. I will strongly suggest this model for any beginners. Especially, this will give you the chance to practice your brush skills and improve them. If you are a pro, well, I don't have to tell you anything because I think that you're gonna knock it out of the park, and that's about it. Now, for all the bandages, I think that is called bandages, the wraps of Anubis, I'm using Tamiya XF20 medium gray, and like with a medium brush, regular brush, I'm just painting. I'm not trying to create a specific pattern. Uh, the messier the better, I would say, and the reason why is because we will use it later on to create like non-specific patterns. Like you guys, right there, I'm showing the back. These already had been applied the wash. The wash is Vallejo wash 76517, and it was just like a general wash. It wasn't a specific wash or paint wash. You let it dry, and once it's dry, we're gonna use the Vallejo random tan 71074, and we're gonna do dry brush again just to bring highlights on the bandages. As you guys can see, the one on the right has the highlights, the other one it doesn't, and you guys will see right now how those rivets are gonna start popping when we add the lighter color. I want to remind you, if you like this video, please click the like button. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. It will be greatly appreciated, and it will help my channel grow. Share my work with others, and that's what I can tell you. I will have more videos coming up soon. I have one from Zeus, is also from CA Studios, and we're gonna do hyper realistic skin. I have seen some amazing artists. Two of them are from the US. They used to work for Sideshow Studios, I think that's how they're called, and it's incredible, and I want to get to that level. Anyways, now another thing that I wanted to tell you is, in this model I'm using enamels, I'm using acrylics, and I'm using oils. So right now I'm using an oil after I painted the entire armor of the Anubis. I didn't record a lot of parts because everything is the same thing, it's repetition. So the same way that you paint the armor on the legs is the same on the chest, or the helmet, or the hips, is exactly the same thing. So there is no need for me to show you 5-hour painting process. So I'm using this oil color. It's black, it's just pure black, if you want to call it that way. It's not no specific brands. I know that there is some very nice German brands for modeling. The ones that I'm using are like from Walmart, if you want to call it that way. And I'm using white spirits. In this case is turpentine from AK, and I'm highly diluting the oil color. And with a really fine brush, I'm just tapping between the golden, or like those crevices that I want to paint in black, and the paint just runs throughout the entire perimeter beautifully. So it saves you a ton of time of painting the regular way. What we are trying to do now with this method is accentuate the black that was left behind as a really matte and dead color. We're bringing it back to life. And if for whatever reason you made a mistake, don't worry about it. This way of painting this specific model is extremely forgiving. extremely forgiving. I make tons of mistakes, I always do. I'm showing one here, so I'm covering pretty much most of the golden, which I don't want. And I just grab a Q-tip, a little bit wet with the turpentine, as you guys can see here, and I just rub it off on the top on like a horizontal way. So I just take whatever was on those crevices from that oil color. And if that doesn't work, don't worry, grab again your small flat brush, dip it in the gold paint, remove the excess, and repaint horizontally like this, so you don't touch the black that you just painted, and it will create a very beautiful shining effect. One of the advantages that we have in this way of painting is that the layers of the coats are extremely thin, because we are just leaving the paint on the very top of the surface just to change the color or the tone of our model. Now, for the leather straps, I use leather brown from Game Color Vallejo 72040. I let it dry, and then I apply a wash, sepia wash from Vallejo, as you guys can see here. I diluted it a lot with water, and look what it happens. It gives that depth in the model. However, it changes the tone of your leather completely. Sorry, the color that I used for that leather was old wood from the Panzer series from Vallejo, and then I apply the sepia wash from Vallejo, and it changes the tone. I didn't want the bandages to look too old. I don't know why, I just didn't want it. So I was very happy with how this turned out, this specific tone. I didn't protect my paintwork in any given moment until the very end. I didn't do it. And the reason why I didn't do it is, like I told you guys before, this model is very forgiving. It doesn't take that long to paint. The one that I have here is almost, what, 20 inches tall? Probably more than that, like 26? I don't know. It's 70 centimeters, so whatever that is in inches is divided by 2. I don't know, like a 26, yeah. Now, the armor, the part on top of the chest, the shoulder, I don't know how you call it, the shoulder, well, the shoulder area, right? And this part have a color. If you guys look at the render really closely, it has reds, it has purples, it has greens. So I'm using Scarlet Blood from Vallejo 72106, highly diluted, and I was hoping that it was gonna run the same way that the turpentine run with the black, with the oils, but it didn't. So it took me a little bit longer. It's not a very precise work, to be honest with you, because the model was beautifully designed. The rivets in the model are so well done that the paint will stay where you want the paint to stay, right? So I'm gonna continue doing this all across the model where it has like color. As you guys can see, I'm painting part of the armor of the forearm. I chose this color because I wanted the color not to be so bright. So once it dries, it's like a dark burn red. It looks pretty cool. Use a fine brush and just tap the model gently, and believe me, the paint behind will be in the right place and it's gonna be super easy to get it done. Another fact, I printed this model on Illegal Saturn 3 Plus 12K. Amen. And for the ones that has this printer, they know that to be for a 3D resin printer is a small printer to print something like this big. The most challenging part of printing this model was the base, because it only comes in two parts, and I honestly don't like to cut my models, so I can print it in 4 or 5 pieces. So one half came out perfectly on the resin printer, and the other one I kept having problems, so I printed in my Neptune, which is filament. So half of the base is filament, half is resin. Now, if you guys are planning on printing this, the model, the position that CA Studios made the model, how it's standing, is like leaning forward slightly. That puts a lot of tension and pressure on the base, which means that the base needs to be very heavy. Otherwise, it's very likely that the model will fall forward and break. Believe me, it happened to me. My thing, after it was painted and everything, fell on the floor for like a 4 feet tall display case, and the only thing that it broke was one of his fingers. I could have found the finger and reglue it. I couldn't find it until just like 2 months later, and I have to reprint the arm, but nothing changed because I just followed the same steps. Now, here I'm painting the tip of the nose. I'm using the same nail black that I used from Tamiya to do it, because I don't want like a really shiny nose. We are not printing Rudolph or painting Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer. So here, this is what I'm doing. Also, if you don't follow me on Facebook, please do so. I haven't been uploading a lot of content as I used to, because I've been going through some harsh times, but I'm trying to do my very best. I also want to say hello to one of my little fans. Is this little girl, her name is Arya, and I just want to say hi. Thank you so much for your support and your kind words, and for people like you is that I make these kind of videos. So thank you so much. Painting this entire model probably took me about 6 hours. And the reason why it took me longer than expected is waiting for the paint to dry. I want it to dry really good, especially the oils. The oils, when you paint oils, you have to let it rest for at least, in my opinion, 48 hours, because the oil can reactivate easily with any solvent like thinner or the turpentine, white spirits, or any other harsh thinner. For example, the Tamiya thinners, even though they say that they're acrylic, which they aren't, they will reactivate your oils. Water won't do it though. I mostly use water, but when I'm using colors from Tamiya, I use the Tamiya thinners. And for the nails, the fingernails and the toenails, I use the black colors from Vallejo. This is like a shiny color. It's not matte. Oh no, hold on. I use the same the nail black from the fingernails and the toenails. He has a ring on his left hand, I believe, and for that ring I painted black, just black, and it was a Tamiya black, which is shiny, and it's the X1 black from Tamiya. Now, what am I going to do here? So Anubis has 6 or 8, well, it has several parts that it's supposed to be glowing, right? This is supposed to have like emeralds on the size of his helmet, so I'm painting white, because right after that I'm going to use a color. It's called Jade Green from Vallejo 72026, and if I leave the color as golden and I paint over with the green, it's going to create like a really weird yellowish color. So I have to paint white again over so I can have an intense and vibrant green on top. Now the next part that I'm painting white, this is the beetle on the center of his chest. Why am I painting it of this color is because I'm gonna do some really light dry brush to create that glowing effect. The same here with the jewels on his arms, in the armor of his arms. So I'm doing the same thing. You don't have to be perfect here. If you paint a little bit outside the lines, it's fine, because we're gonna also do like a white glowing, I like to call it snow dust around it. Very intricate model, and this is the color that I was telling you guys. So I love this color. I have a model from I think that it's called Amor or Namor from Wicked, and it's supposed to be one of those characters from, I think that is Black Panther, the Black Panther, that I've been wanting to paint so badly because he reminds me like the Quetzalcoatl god from the Mexican culture, and I would love to paint it. It's like a feather snake, and I wanted to use that color so bad on that model, but anywho, so very standard, nothing out of this world process. I'm using this dry wash. It's from Tamiya, and I'm painting the sockets of the eyes black, and the only reason why I'm doing this is to bring back a little bit of depth into his eyes. I'm not gonna do anything. I was thinking to make it like glowing eyes, but I didn't want to do it because I wasn't using my airbrush. Like I said, everything is like a dry brush, and I was like, no, then it will defeat the purpose of the video. It will completely defeat the purpose of the video. So I'm using just a gray white to go over the eyes, and surprisingly, it has really good eye size. I think that's how you say it. Anyways, and if I also was thinking to put the inside of the ears a little bit pinkish, but I was like, no, I don't want it to have too much color. I want it to be like a really sober kind of a looking model. Here I'm doing dye brush with that 50-50 mixture that I was telling you guys earlier. If for whatever reason you overdid it, don't worry about it. Grab your blue again and do some dry brush over what you didn't like, so you can kill that white or that lighter color. No big deal. I'm telling you guys, this model is extremely forgiving. The thickness on the walls for this model was 1.8 millimeters, so it's quite thick. Most people that I have seen, they use 1.2 to 1.4. I think that 1.2 is extremely too thin. My average is always 1.6, but for this one, because of the size and the posture of the model, I decided to go with 1.8. Alright, so this is a spear. Believe me or not, after I printed the spear and I cured this part that I'm painting right now, it became like soggy. So the spear is like soft. It's like somehow I can bend that part, the rod of the spear. I tried to recure it. It didn't work. I didn't want to reprint it again, and I said, fudge it, I'm gonna work with this. I apply a gray wash on the spear. First, the As you guys know, the entire model was primed with the natal black, and the only thing that I did was to apply that gray wash, and that's the color of the handle of the spear. The rest of the spear, it has gold where it's supposed to have gold. It's the same gold that we've been using. I didn't use a different type of gold. I didn't want to use any variations or anything like that, so it's just straight up gold. There was no shades or lights added to the model, so the only lights and highlights that it will have is the ones that will be provided or given by the light in your office or in your display case or whatever. So it's gonna be natural lights provided, but either natural or artificial light. And here I'm using a white wash to make it more white, because I didn't like how it didn't look good enough for me, so I wanted like whiter. So I'm happy with the result. And now the blade, I use the Tamiya X1. It's very shiny, so it looks like you guys remember Game of Game of Thrones, the dragon glass or obsidian. That's exactly how it looked like. I let it dry, and the blade, and I used the white wash that I did, and then I removed most of it, and it has like a little tiny holes, the blade, and the white was left behind there, and it looks amazing, guys. I swear to God, it looks amazing. So before I continue, remember that at the very end of the video is the photo shoot along with a video of the final result. Okay, this is the wash that I was telling you about earlier. This is the Vallejo wash that you apply over all the bandages or the fabric or the clothing, however you want to call it, from Anubis. And nothing special, nothing out of this world, very standard brushing. Just I'm trying to get it over with. Just of course be mindful and careful that you don't want to get it on other parts that you have painted already, so you won't mess with your previous paint job or paint work. I don't know how it says. If you guys want to see any particular model of from me painting it or printing it or whatever, please put it in your comments. If you have done something like this, share with us your results, your techniques, what it worked for you, what it didn't work. Personally, I love most of the models that I make. There's a handful of models that I go like, wow, I wish I would have never done something like this. But in this case, I very much love it. CA Studios is one of my favorite studios where I get my models. They have amazing quality, and they're very, very well done and intricate. The detail is just right on point, and it's pretty cool. At the end, everything was covered with two type of varnishes. The metal or the gold part was coated with metal varnish from Vallejo, and the body, the face, and anything skin plus the base was covered with satin varnish as well from Vallejo. I use super glue to glue my model. I drill the base and the bottom of the feet to put nails on it and have more resistant and wouldn't lean forward and fall. And that after that the model fell and it broke, so that's what it helped a lot. So right now it's in place and it's not moving and it's just beautiful. Right now I'm using a little bit of white. This is oil paint, turpentine, and I'm gonna highly dilute it. highly dilute, and I'm just gonna put like I'm gonna use it like a punctual wash on the glowing areas. So I'm gonna use a very fine brush and just touch around the area so it can go into those recesses and crevices and create the glowing effect. I mean, it's very redundant, but that's what it is. If you apply a little bit of turpentine on top of the surface that you're going to apply the wash or the oil paint, right before you do it, it will help for the wash to run around the areas better. Just like FYI. I don't know what I was saying. If I already told you guys, if you don't follow me on Facebook, please do so. I upload a lot of content there. Like I said, I haven't done it too much lately, but you know, I'm back in track, and hopefully we will have some amazing models coming up soon. I want to do the Frankenstein from CA Studios along with the Frankenstein Bride, and now that you know we're past Halloween, so that was supposed to be before Halloween, but it didn't happen. I also is in my plans to do the Juggernaut against the Colossus from Wicked. That's a massive print. It's not just the statues of the two fighting, his entire diorama. It's just crazy. And I have Storm. I don't remember from which studio Storm, and I also have the Predator from CA3D. Amazing model as well. I will try to get it done, but for sure, Zeus from CA Models is the next in line, and I also have one model that I printed over a year ago, and it's Dr. Fate from Berserk Studios, and nothing has happened. Actually, the other day I opened the box where I had the model, and I noticed that resin was leaking through something, so probably wasn't properly washed or cured. So I have to reprint one of his arms. The problem is that I don't remember in which scale I printed the thing, so woohoo for me. But it is what it is. Alright, so I'm doing the same thing here. Just trying to create that glow with the white around the beetle, and making some paint correction with golden, as same as with a little bit of white. Like I said, don't worry if you're new to this hobby, you're gonna love this model. I promise you, it will take time, but you're gonna love it because it's very forgiving. I love painting the model, I love printing the model. Like I said, I only have one error in the printing, and it was because I was trying to force my little printer too much with that big piece. I used the 1/9 scale, or no, the 1/6 scale from CA Studios to print this, and I think that I added an extra 50% when you scale it, so it's pretty big. I think that we're coming to the end of the video. One more time, please like the video, subscribe, click on the bell so you receive the notifications when I have something new up there. I will leave the link to the Patreon of where you can find this model. I will leave my buy me a coffee if any of you are interested in supporting me. I would highly appreciate it, and I think that this is it. I hope that you guys have enjoyed the video. Pretty straightforward. Once you guys see the model put together completely, I wish and I hope that you really love it as much as I do. And that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching, guys. The pictures, the photo shoot and the video are coming, and that is it for me. Thank you so very much.